Yes, so let us begin the class now. Okay, we had talked about resource planning. The first stage was making the inventory. This I had already told you all that how they make the inventory, the list of the inventory, that whatever resources are available. The second stage involves that what kind of strategy we are going to use. Are we going to use labor intensive strategy, or are we going to use mechanized process to excavate those resources? And the third stage is action oriented stage, where actually the resources are excavated and then they are used for the development of the country. Now, next is we are going to talk about, I'm not going to go into very much detail regarding this because you'll be writing it down. The next is importance of resource planning. As I told you all earlier also, that resource planning is very important. Since human demands are already, we know that they are ever increasing and the resources are limited. Besides, in a country like India, where resources are not distributed in an equal manner, there also resource planning is very important because there are certain states where you have ample amount of resources, whereas there are other states which are not having many resources. Besides that, if we also know this one thing, that if we do not plan how to excavate the resources, then what might take place is that reckless use of the resources. Okay, resource planning. Resource planning. Resources of a country is not a guarantee that the country can achieve development, because one another aspect of resource of growth and development is technology. The more better is the technology, that country will be progressive and as well as developed. Say for example, we all know that I had told you all this example of Japan. That Japan is one country which is having no resources or very less resources. It is having very less resources, yet it has achieved excellence. Okay. Besides, we also know that colonials, imperialists who had come to our country, they were attracted not by anything, not by our culture, but they were attracted by the resources of our country. And since they were having superior technology, that is why they were able to do that. Clear? Okay. So technology is very important. Resources can lead to development only when they are accompanied by appropriate technology. Therefore, in India, development needs not only not only availability of resources but also technology. Next topic in your book is conservation of resources. Okay, conservation of resources is again very important because the world has been divided into those two parts where some countries are having ample availability of resources and no dearth of any kind of resources. Even if they do not have the resources, they can import it because they have got the money. Whereas there are other countries which have less resources and no monetary funds. Therefore, they are dependent on countries for value. Over here, we have to conserve the available resources of a country. Besides that, here our great leader Mahatma Gandhi has said, Mahatma Gandhi has very aptly said that there is enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed. It has he has targeted the greedy nations for their ever increasing demand, and the nature has given abundant amount of resources of human mankind. But then some countries are excessively resources and some are not able to use the. Next, we are going to talk about another very important resource of a country, that is land resources. When we talk of land resources, then the first thing which we have to keep in mind is that land is something which is limited, and population is something which is ever increasing, and particularly in a country like India. Okay, and this finite land has to be put to a number of uses for buildings, for agriculture, for dams, for uh, all kind of things, whatever is required, basic infrastructure which is required. Therefore, it is important to use the available land for various purposes with a careful planning. Okay, India is a country which is having land. Say, for example, 43% is in the plain area. How much? 43%. 43% is plains in our country. 30% are mountains in our country. and 27% plain land is devoted for human settlement as well as agriculture. Okay, forest is for the ecological balance of our country, and plateaus are the storehouse of minerals in our, okay, from where we excavate what minerals. Now, land utilization, we are going to see land utilization. When we talk of land utilization, we are going to see that land is put for various uses. First of all, forest. What is the first one? First is forest. Second is land not available for agriculture. Not available for agriculture. Here you can put all those land, that is wasteland, barren land, non-agricultural use, buildings, roads, factories also. They are put into all what? Land not available for agriculture. The third category is uncultivated uncultivated land. Here you have what? Here you have got pastures, grazing land, land under miscellaneous tree crops, that is groves, etc., which is purposely grown by government. Okay, trees like, say for example, shelter belts, something like this. Okay, then you have got culturable wasteland. That is culturable wasteland. Wasteland. Okay. Cultural wasteland, you can say, is a wasteland which can be put for agriculture for other uses, but it is not being put and it is just lying, and any kind of weeds and etc. are growing over here. Okay. Then you have got the fallow land. You all must have heard about your fallow land in your bio. But here, fallow land is that which is left which is left for 2-3 years to regain its fertility, so that again it can be used for cultivation. Okay, now there are two kind of fallow land, one which is being used, which can be used, okay, which is left without cultivation for less than one agricultural year, and other fallow land which is left for 2-3 years, okay, which can now be used for cultivation. And the last category is your net zone area. Get into this net zone area. Net zone area means the entire amount of land which is under cultivation. Okay. Now, when we talk of this entire amount of land which is under cultivation, what might happen? There might be some portion of the land which is cultivated twice. Cultivated. For example, this is the net zone area. This might happen at this much of land. So this is your net zone area, and this is added twice. Then this is being done to get what? Gross total area. Total area. Net zone area, which is cultivated twice, is included 2 times to get what? Gross cropped area. This is all there in your book, so no worries. You are going to write it down also. Okay. Uh, India has got 3.28 million square kilometer of land. 3.28 million square kilometer of land, but the data which is available to us, it is only about 93% of total geographical area. Then when we talk of land use in our country, then there are certain facts. The first is, say for example, there are certain areas, HP, whoever is this, you will not be allowed because your name is not there. Okay. We know that in our country there are certain areas where 80% of the land is cultivated, whereas there are certain other areas where only 10% of the land is under cultivation. So this kind of disparity is there. Let me read it out. It is 80% of the land in Punjab, Haryana, and less than 10% in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, and Manipur, Andaman, and Nicobar Islands because of the difficult terrain. Forest is there, mountains are there, so land is not able to be cultivated. Forest area in our country is far lower than what is required. 33% of the land should be under forest so that we can have a balanced or moderate kind of climate. But in our country, it is less than 25%. It is only 20%. Okay. Wasteland is the rocky arid desert area also. Okay. Non-agricultural use includes buildings, includes roads, railways, industries, etc. Continuous use of land without taking proper measure to maintain it can lead to land degradation. Land degradation or land erosion. When we talk of land degradation, we see that 95% of the basic need is fulfilled from land. Okay, it is obtained from land, but human activities have brought not only degradation, but have also aggravated the damage to land. 28% in our country is forest degraded area. How much? 28% forest degraded area. 56% is water eroded area. Okay, water eroded area. Rest is affected by a lot many other things like saline and alkaline deposit. Okay, then deforestation, overgrazing, mining, quarrying. There are mines which takes out limestone. The limestone and cement industry, it leads to a large amount of say ceramic and calcite and soapstone generate large quantity of dust. Similarly, in your Kota city, you have got a thermal power station. The temperature and the condition at station area and at the thermal area is different. Different in the sense that you may find temperature much more cooler and moderate in the station area as compared to the thermal area. This is just because of the thermal power. Okay. Conservation of land can be done by various methods. Afforestation, proper management of the grazing land, control of overgrazing, stabilization of sand dunes by creating shelter belts, okay, proper management of wasteland, and all these steps can be taken. That is, beside that, instead of just discharging the effluents into the water, it is very important that they should be processed. Okay. Next in your book is your soil as a resource. As far as soil as a resource is concerned, we are going to, it is very simple. It is all about the soil, alluvial soil, which you're going to get in points, that is area. Then you have got where it is found, what type of soil is alluvial soil or whatever. This you're going to write it down just now. All of you take out your copies and start writing this chapter. I'm watching you all. Yes. Write it down. Resource development. Children, whatever you people are doing now, I know you all are too smart. Okay, but people are smarter than you. They take the screenshot and then they give it to me so that I can come to know the reality. पढ़ना है तो पढ़ो, नहीं पढ़ना है तो आराम करो, कोई मतलब नहीं है. The difficult times we are facing, teaching you all so many things we have to press and all that. Still, you people are creating all kind of nuisance. Anyways, write it down. Resource development, geography, chapter 1. Satyam Khandelwal, Chinmay Gautam, Bhumi Gira, Radhika Vijay. I am not able to see your faces. I'll just remove you all. Everybody. Ishita Sood. First, resources development. Next line, again you write resource. Resources. Put a dash. Everything available in our environment. Children, are you all having geography book with you all? Just put your thumbs up and let me know. Geography book with you all? Then why don't you all mark in the geography book and then afterward you can write it down? In points only I can make you all mark. Okay? Take out your books. Take out your books. I'll give you all 1 minute. I cannot say the lines and everything, okay? But I will tell you all and you can find it out. Is that clear? Everything available in our environment. Now listen children very carefully. If any word is not there, you write it down there only because I'm not having the book. I'm making your mark from the copy, but in geography it is very easy to mark. Okay, so keep your books in front of you all, and if you find any word is missing, you just write it down over there because I'll be going a bit slow only. कहीं आपको वो word नहीं मिल रहा है तो वहीं लिख लेना उसको. Okay, understood? Thumbs up. Good. Okay. Resources, put a dash. Everything available in our environment, which can be used to satisfy our needs. मिल गया सबको? Thumbs up. Okay. To satisfy our needs, comma, is technologically accessible, comma, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. Put a dash again, can be termed as a resource. Underline resource. Can be termed as a resource. Full stop. Next line. You may see over there only. Human beings. Got it? मिल गया? बेटा thumbs up करते जाओ फटाफट. Human beings themselves are essential component of resources who transform material available in our environment into resources and use them. Clear? Good. Next, see classification. Resources can be classified into. Put a dash. First, on the basis of origin. Write all the four, that is on the basis of origin. Biotic, abiotic, full stop. On the basis of exhaustibility, renewable, non-renewable. On the basis of ownership, individual, community, national and international. On the basis of status of development, potential, developed, stock and reserve. Thumbs up. Good. Next, types of resources. Next heading, types of resources. First, now again, on the basis of origin. Go to on the basis of origin. First, biotic. Put a dash, obtained from biosphere and have life. Example, human beings, flora, fauna, fisheries. Next, abiotic. Put a dash, composed of non-living things. Example, rocks, metals. Rocks, comma, metals. Next, on the basis of exhaustibility. Radhika Vijay, Bhumi Gera. Bhumi Gera, I am never able to see your face. Should I remove you, Supreet Kaur? ये बाकी सब कहाँ है? गुरनीत, मोनीश, राधिका विजय. Who's राधिका विजय? आयुष, ये कौन है? सार्थक भागवत को हटा देती हूँ मैं. भयानक शक्ल लगा रखी है. अंशुल जैन, काव्य थदानी. Okay. On the basis of exhaustibility, put a dash. First point. Next point, renewable resources. Okay, put a dash. It is given in your book only. Renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical process. Physical, chemical or mechanical process. Full stop. Example, solar, wind, energy, water, forest, wildlife. Full stop. Can be further divided into continuous or flow. continuous or slow. One and the same thing. That is, it keeps on taking place. Next, non-renewable resources occur, occur, oblique take, right take अगर नहीं है तो वहाँ पर occur, oblique take a very long geological time. Very long geological time. Example, minerals, fossil fuels take millions of years to form. To form, full stop. Metals are recyclable. Ayush, are you marking? Ayush, metals are recyclable. Full stop. Next, on the basis of ownership. First, individual resources. Individual resources, put a dash, owned privately by individuals. Example, got it everyone? Thumbs up. Okay. Owned privately by individuals. Example, rural farmers own land. Urban people own plots, houses, and other property. Full stop. Next, community owned resources. Community owned resources. Put a dash. Resources which are accessible to all members of the community. To all members of the community. Example, burial ground. All these examples are there in your book. Burial ground, comma, grazing ground, comma, village ponds, public parks, picnic spots, playground, etc. Got it? Yes. Next, national resources includes all the resources that belong to the nation. That belong to the nation, put a dash, means resources of nation. If it is not there, write it down, put a dash, resources of nation. Next point in this only, country has legal power to acquire even private property for public good. For public good. Example, for roads, canals, railways. Full stop. All minerals, comma, water resources, comma, forest, wildlife. Now, very important part, land within political boundaries. Given in the book only, land within political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. Oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles, in bracket write 22.2 kilometer. Bracket close, is called territorial water. Territorial water and resources therein belong to the nation. Full stop. We are going to full stop over here. We are going to stop over here because your next class is going to start. Is that clear, children? Okay, so write the heading, that is international resources. We are going to continue in the next class from here only. This much of work you can do in your copy. Okay?